At this point, we've transformed and cleaned the data and we are ready to load it to Power BI. At the top left of this dialog, you'll find an option to close and apply. Just select that option. The Power Query editor will be closed and the data will be loaded into Power BI. You can see that the main pane has changed somewhat. You can see the little prompt in the center pane is build visuals with your data. And off to the right on your data pane, notice you can see your data set, Amazon sales data. That's the data that we just loaded in. If you want to work further with this data, maybe you need to apply a few additional transformations, just head over to the data view and you'll be able to view the data that you loaded in and apply any other transforms that you want to. And maybe you can compute new columns and so on. We'll get to all of that in a bit, but now we've successfully transformed our data and loaded it into Power BI. The next obvious step for us is to visualize something with our data. So let's build a very simple visualization. And as we go along, we look at more complex visualizations later. The table that we just loaded is also available here in the model view. Observe that little box with the Amazon sales data. You can see within the box all of the columns in the table. And if you had multiple tables that were loaded in, you would visualize all of them here and you can set up relationships and so on. Back to our report view, we have one page in our report and we're going to set up one visualization. You can also rename the page to be something meaningful. I'm going to rename it to be called bar chart because a bar chart is what we're going to visualize. And you'll find that this is actually really straightforward. I'm just going to select the kind of chart I want from this visualizations pane and click on the chart. You get the helpful little tooltip here. A stacked column chart is what I'm looking for. Any chart you select will appear in your main canvas and you can drag the chart by its edges to be of the size that you want it to be. Now, this visual is an empty visual. It's just a placeholder of sorts. If you look at the visualization pane at the bottom, observe that we can specify the x-axis, the y-axis, legend, and other details for this visualization. In our sales data dataset, for every order, there was associated a category for the kind of product that was shipped in the order. I've selected this category column here in my table and I'm going to drag it to the x-axis. Along the x-axis of our stacked column chart, we'll have the category of the products. I want the bars along the y-axis to represent the sales for each of these products from the order data that we have. So I've selected the amount column from my table and I'm going to drag this to the y-axis. You can see that Power BI has automatically applied an aggregation to the numeric value that we want the bars to represent. It has summed up the amounts. So we get the total sales for each category. You can see a nice bar chart there. It's automatically arranged in the descending order of sales. The first category refers to a set. That's probably both the top and bottom combined. So whatever kind of clothes this represents. The second category is a kurta, which is a kind of an ethnic Indian top. And then we have Western dress, top, ethnic dress. All of these seem to be categories of women's clothes.